Yeah, so Paul, literally, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure you're a busy man, even though you're technically in retirement now. So yeah, how have you been and how is retirement?
Yeah, I'm good. Retirement's good. Just staying busy, finding things to do. Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, and I was there when you ended your career, obviously with another spectacular knockout over Wendell Giacomo. Was it the ending you hoped for? I guess you can't really imagine these things, but yeah, was it as good as you could have hoped it was?
I think it was a perfect ending, to be honest. Even the fact that people were a little bit worried at the start when I was on the floor and thinking that things weren't looking so good. But I was calm and I knew that when the opportunity came, I'd be able to capitalize 100%.
Yeah, and I guess obviously so many people have been with your journey. It's not just like you on the way, obviously your family as well, and your mum was in the end in the case a little BBC cameo. Yeah, how emotional.
She's famous now off that as well.
The fame has gone to her head. Yeah, how emotional, I guess, was it for your family as well to see your retirement?
Yeah, it was, but they've been on at me for a while to retire, but they come to the fights whenever they're in London. So the whole fight thing wasn't really emotional for them, but I think they were preparing for it anyway. So they just sort of said, yeah, bro, or yeah, son, or yeah, babe, you've done the right thing at the right time. So it was, it wasn't too much for him.
Yeah, and I guess did I read this right that you weren't born too far away from Wembley? Is that right?
Yeah, I was born at Park Royal Hospital, so a lot of my
was it kind of like I guess I don't know, was it nice to end it at in Wembley kind of, I guess?
There was no other place in the world that I would have liked to end my career than Wembley. Not just the fact that my family are from there, I was born there or close to there, but the early part of my career was spent in Wembley with cage rage. I was either at Wembley Conference Centre or Wembley Arena. So, I've fought a lot there while I've been in the UK. So yeah, it was the ideal venue for me to finish my career.
Yeah, and I guess now you've kind of stepped away from it and you can look back and everything. If you could think about when you just started out and you just first stepped into the cage, is there anything you would have done differently or anything you would tell yourself then? Any little bit of advice or anything like that? Or it was all just a learning curve, I guess?
I would never have done anything different, because just like you say, it's a learning curve. Everything happens for a reason, and the mistakes I've made, I've learned from. And maybe had I not made those mistakes, those adjustments, I wouldn't have made. So, like I say, everything happens for a reason. I'm blessed. I'm fortunate enough to have had a long career after making some mistakes, and be in a position to retire at 39 years old. Not just from the sport. Some people say they retire from the sport. For me, if I wanted to, I could retire. You know what I mean? I could do nothing. I've been smart, and I'm fortunate. So yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it was interesting that you felt like, I don't know, it was definitely the moment to retire. Maybe things weren't as exciting for you or things like that. And you've kind of said you are finished with all combat sports. I know you've been asked it about 50 billion times, but is it still very much like there's not a name or anything like that? The fighting is completely done. It would have to be like ridiculous money, I guess, to entice you back.
Yeah, that's it. I said straight after the fight, I said it has to be ridiculous money or one of them legendary fights, one of the fights that people remember. I said Masvidal, I said Nick Diaz. I even said, even though it's not a fight that people remember, I even said the MVP fight because I don't think the build-up gave it. It did the magnitude of the fight, didn't give it justice, and they had it in New York. It should have been at Wembley. All the press was done over in New York. It should have been done in the UK, and I think Bellator just got that one wrong. the judges got the result wrong and Bellator got the promotion wrong. So if the money was right and everything was done properly, then that would be a fight that I'd look at coming back for. But apart from those 3 fights, Nick Diaz, Masvidal, or, you know, 7 figures for the Page fight, then I ain't interested.
And I guess what is the best bit about retirement then? Considering you did like the slug of training, I'm sure it's very repetitive, a lot of routine. Is it like, I don't know, just little things like you're allowed to eat a bit more than you want, go on a holiday? I don't know. What is it?
That was what I was going to say. Like that, I still train every morning. So I get up and I do like an hour cardio. I still do that. And when my hand's better, I'll get back to, you know, hitting the pads and do my jiu-jitsu as well. But yeah, it's the food. Like some, you know, I have to give it less. I have to give it less thought. Like if I want a packet of crisp, I'm gonna have a packet of crisp. Chocolate bar, I can have a chocolate bar. Whereas before, I was like, I couldn't really do it. Well, I didn't do it. But now I sort of, there's always that point where I hesitate, but I'm like, I got nothing to get ready for. I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, I can imagine. But like, I guess now you've stepped away from it and you're not necessarily fighting. I'm sure you've got so many links still with MMA and things like that. What is it that excites you about the scene at the minute? I don't know if there's a particular newcomer or someone that you're working with or a particular fight that you'd like to see, but what is it that maybe a new kind of angle that excites you about the game, I guess?
I wouldn't say there's nothing really. There's nothing there for me, hence why I'm stepping back. You know, as far as looking forward, if I'm going to be involved in the game in any way, I enjoy the commentary side of things. I like being an advisor. I don't know people. I run a gym, so people are begging me to train and push them, do this, manage them. But you know, I've gave so much of my time and energy to the sport that I don't want to have that commitment again. Because if I have a fighter, then I'm traveling with them, I'm cornering them, I'm doing this and doing that. I don't want to do that again. So I'm happy to be an advisor. I'm happy to do the odd job commentating. As far as looking at the sport, you know, the way all combat sports is changing, you know, with social media. But for me, I think a lot of the stories are being missed. That's what got me into the sport, really. One, first the martial art aspect, and then two, I used to, you know, there was your HBO 24/7, your Showtime All Access. UFC used to do their little thing when they used to follow the fighters, and you saw. But now you only can see what they put on the social media, and half of it isn't real. Do you know what I mean? It's just a snapshot, you know, or something they borrowed, or something that they some place that they're in for a minute. But for me, I attach myself to the stories, and I think the sport will grow if the fans can genuinely attach themselves to, you know, the life of a fighter rather than something that they see on social media.
Yeah, 1000%. I guess you're a prime example of that for sure. And if you mind, if we can just finish on just like a couple quick fire ones.
Yeah.
Favorite knockout? Can you pick one?
Scott Smith at Strikeforce.
Yeah. Best. Why was that one your favorite? Actually,
I just think the way he fell was cinematic, and it's been they've shown that countless times again. So yeah.
And best walk on track.
I'm gonna have to say for the Brendan Ward fight, I think it was Rick Ross Purple Lamborghini. That lifted the crowds. Yeah.
Right, and I'm asking you this because I saw it on your Instagram and I couldn't quite believe it, how a man like you, so feared by so many people, is absolutely shit scared of cats.
The cats.
So I was going to say cats or dogs.
Dog. I prefer dogs, but I used to be scared of both, but I can't change the... let me see if I can get my dog on camera.
Oh, you can't be afraid of him, tonight.
So yeah, I used to be scared. I used to be scared of dogs until I got my own dog. So I got an Akita now. But cats, I'm never getting over that fear of cats. So yeah.
That'd be good. They crack me up. And lastly, we kind of touched on it, but yeah, favorite cheat meal.
Doner kebab. I know people are going to be disgusted.
Oh.
People are going to be disgusted I said that, but I have to be honest. I have to be honest.
Absolute British filth right there. But no,
Know.
that was
Yeah.
Why is it your favorite? Usually we get people saying like their mum's home cooking, and you've gone.
Yeah, but I don't class that as a cheat meal, because yesterday I just had some ackee saltfish and some dumplings. But for me, I'll have that in training camp, but I won't have the dumplings. You know, I have something else with it. So that I would have said that. But if you're talking like filth, then doner kebab has to be.
Oh, well, lovely. Thank you so much for your time, Paul.
Yeah,
I
no problem.
really appreciate it. That was a great interview. Thank you.